Guys, should we do the most exciting part? Should we finally get onto the shirt and the sleeves? Okay, look at those folds. They look the most exciting for me. So let's go ahead. We'll solo that out. And look at all the kind of detail underneath we can't take advantage of. But never mind. It's okay. We'll smooth them out just to help kind of keep them a bit more in line with the vest and what's on top. Okay, so unfortunately we can't do anything about the stuff in the middle here. We went through all that ordeal in Marvelous Designer, but alas, it will be forgotten. Never mind. Right, okay, so for this here, these are quite complicated folds, so I can see immediately I want to increase my subdivision level just so I can work on them a little bit more easily, okay? So let's start with this side here. Right, we've got this very interesting fold there where this whole section here kind of looks like a nub is tucked in and this fold is fallen down over it, which is lovely. And once we kind of slot her gloves in there, that will look very nice indeed. Okay, but for now it looks a little bit strange, but let's not worry about that too much. Let's do exactly the same thing we did with the trousers, and we'll just kind of come in and restore some of these big folds here that we had from Marvelous Designer. Okay, stay very general still so far. Don't kind of make any, what could you say, like too many deviations. Of course, you can make some deviations, but nothing too major at the time. At this time, just go ahead and put in, like, reapply some of that missing detail. Okay. So I'm constantly swapping between using the brush in the normal mode and then using the inverse version of the brush as well, just because that's the nature of folds. Some are dug in, some are on the surface, some kind of extrude, some kind of intrude on the mesh. Okay, so that's completely natural. And feel free to carry over some of these folds across the side, because again, we want to interrupt this straight line there. We want some of these folds to actually kind of go all the way around to the back, so instead, you see, we get this nice wrapping effect there. We don't want it to end there necessarily. We want them, sometimes it's okay, but some of them we will want them to kind of cross over to the back as well. Okay, so don't be afraid to kind of do that. So here as well, I want to bring that over. It's sometimes hard to kind of keep a track of it. It can get lost a bit like that. And of course, I said use the masks earlier if you want to do this. For instance, okay, let's mask this area off. We want to make this a bit more interesting. Smooth that mask out, use the move tool, and because this is hanging down lower, we can actually bring this low, tuck that up. Okay, so we can actually have that kind of effect there. See, that's nice, just by using some of the masking equipment, and then carry that over. Excellent. There you go. That's now a much more interesting sleeve. And feel free to carry up some of these folds up to the armpit, because Marvelous Designer seemed quite reluctant to do that. It just kept it all down near the elbow, which was a bit disappointing. But like I said, sometimes Marvelous Designer is a D20 dice roll in terms of what kind of results you can get. Mileages vary quite greatly. Okay, unless you're completely seasoned with Marvelous Designer and you can replicate the results every single time, which if you can, I certainly envy you for. I know I certainly can't do that, so good on you if you can. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to do something similar that I did with the sides there, and you can see from the back it's not as interesting as it is from the front, so we can fix some of that. So we can take this and let's use another brush we haven't used, the clay buildup. We'll kind of reduce that a bit. We'll just kind of bring that as a kind of line that goes all the way around the back here. And yes, I am inventing a new stroke, but I'm still doing it with kind of informed strokes and folds from Marvelous Designer. Just again, trying to keep this a bit more interesting rather than bland. Okay? And then you can do the same here as well. You can keep with the clay brush if you like, and just, You know, let's say something like that. We want that to sweep across. Oops, not down there. Want that to sweep across a bit. And smooth it out whenever you use the clay brush, because the clay brush is a very rudimentary kind of tool. Okay, so just make sure to keep smoothing that out whenever you use it. Okay, so there we go. We've got that effect there now. That's quite nice. Okay. Right, let's maybe stick with it a little bit longer. You can even use it in lieu of the standard brush sometimes, but I'm going to swap back it regardless. Okay, so like I said, at the moment we've got lots of folds that wrap around horizontally, but we do also need some folds that go vertically, like we've got here in the reference. Okay, so, well, in the concept art rather. So don't be afraid to throw some of them in now at this stage. Okay, so for example, this one here, we could throw that almost all the way up, smooth it out, and we could have something. Well, it's a little bit difficult here because they wrap around like this, but we can get rid of this one with the trim dynamic brush. Okay, let's say we've changed our mind on that particular part there. Okay, you can see that's all been demolished now. Okay, so we could actually, if we were feeling adventurous, we could just flick that, flick it up there, flick, 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 flick. There we go. And you've got this wrap, and it's like, oh, hello, that's a nice vertical line. That was a happy little accident, to quote the famous Bob Ross. Okay, it wasn't really an accident. It was something we intentionally did, but it turned out better than I thought it would. So, yeah. So hopefully you're having fun with this process. You're not stressing about every single stroke you make. That's kind of not what to do at this point in time. Just have fun, play around. Your Control Z key is always there should the unforeseeable happen, you know. So at this point in time, just have some fun with it. Okay. And a little bit more. Oops, that's a bit too deep. Just suggest it a bit more. There you go. Okay, and if anything does get out of hand, don't forget, if it looks a bit too round, you can come in with the trim dynamic brush and just kind of flatten some of these very curvy looking edges, because you don't want everything to be round and goopy and curvy. You might want to have some edges like that which are actually a bit flatter. Okay, so don't be afraid to pull out that trim dynamic brush even at this earlier stage. Okay, there you go. They are really a nice suite of brushes, these. They do help out a lot in terms of setting the foundation for the rest of your folds. Okay, let's do a little bit there. So you can see we definitely need to give a bit more attention to the back. The front's all well and good, but the back is lacking slightly. Okay, but that's not what we're doing here now. We're just kind of bringing out the Marvelous Designer folds, so we'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's jump over to the other side now, and we'll give the other side a bit of love. So we'll do the same. This is a wonderful fold. Look at that. That's a wonderful, lovely fold there. That's one of the best folds I've ever seen Marvelous Designer make, and that's no lie. You know, that's a really, really nice fold. I'm absolutely chuffed that Marvelous Designer brought me such a nice result after all that effort. So thank you, MD, for playing nice with me for once. Okay. Again, just have a bit of fun with this. Don't be afraid to send some of these shooting up a little bit. Get that kind of vertical folds going on that we have a distinct lack of at the moment. At some point in time, when you look at this for long enough, you kind of feel like you're looking at craters on a planet's surface. You know, you're looking at like holes and knobbly bits that you'd find on the surface of the moon or something like that. You know, it's quite funny, quite strange indeed. It makes you wonder if the whole of the planet is created on a crazy mathematical algorithms and sequences like Fibonacci's and stuff like that, you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all philosophical on everybody there, but, you know. You're sculpting away, the mind wanders. It goes to places where it might not have been before. So, there you go. Just using this here, and I've gone ahead and I've used the oh so wonderful yet destructive clay build-up brush. I think I can see an opportunity to create some verticality there, and then very, very much there as another one there as well, so I can take advantage of that and build that in. There we go, there's another one there. Okay. Ooh, that was a happy little accident. Let's put that in. It's a bit of a random variation. Now, have we got the nice interruptions on the side here? We've got some. We can do a bit more deliberate. We can do one there. Okay. And this could sort of maybe go all the way up as well. Okay, there we go. And have we got, we could do this one here as well. That could be a good one to do. All the way up. Just interrupts that line there. And of course we can come in with the damn standard brush even at this stage. But just be careful, because that's quite a brush that you almost reserve for finer refinements. Finer refinements. I have the best adjectives. And then let's use the trim dynamic brush a little bit just to kind of get rid of some of these round, I guess kind of coral-like shapes. You don't want it too roundish. You want some of it quite flat as well. There we go. And of course, let's use the mask. Let's mask this area off here. I'm keen to try and do something with this here. Smooth it out, and I think what I might do is I might select all that and actually just kind of pull it down a bit. Pull it down over itself. So I like the way that's done it there, but we do need to fix how it looks here. So let's use our damn standard brush. Come in there, and let's just really kind of shoot that out. We can use the clay build-up brush, and I'm going a bit off record here, but just for the sake of trying to get a nice interruption there, this is worth going off course a little bit. Smoothing that out. Okay, let's mask that off again. Okay. And now let's come in with something like the inflate brush, and we'll just use the inverse, which will push some of the geometry under there. Like that. And there you go. We've got quite a natural looking fold almost if we come in with the standard brush and just build that back in. Okay. There you go. You'd have said that that was there the whole time, wouldn't you? Right? Yeah? Maybe? Maybe not? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. And then the finishing tweaks, let's just trim dynamic some of the back there. There you go. Okay, so interesting there. And let's see. Spend a bit more time doing vertical strands up. So there's another opportunity there. Let's make this a little less round. We'll make it kind of stick out a bit more. Let's use the inflate brush. Deflate some of that. Okay, standard brush. Might need to add a bit more subdivision there before we do something like that, but that's okay. There we go. Bit more of the inflate brush around here to show that is just loose fabric kind of hanging down. Okay. Right, let's bring it back to the rest of the mesh. There we go, look at that. We're starting to get a decent kind of effect going on there. Okay, now over here, I can see what I don't like immediately straight away is, let's bring this down to a lower subdivision. This is too loose, or actually this is too tight. So you could actually come in here and be tempted just to do inflate brush, woof, like that. We want a bit more volume there, but unfortunately that ruins all the fabric folds we've just done. So we're going to have to come in with the move brush, and you can kind of mask the back if you want a little bit, although it shouldn't really be affected too much here, but we just want to bring that out a bit more so it has a bit more volume like that. Okay, and let's sort of play in with the folds a little bit. Let's kind of mask off this area here, right? And then now maybe we want to mask off this area here too. Okay, so we've just got this kind of middle piece here, and we could just pull that out there like that. Okay, so our sleeves look a bit more, well, they look have a bit more volume to them now. Okay, and then let's check the other side. You can see the other side suffering from very much a similar issue. So let's mask off the part that wraps around her forearm there. We don't want to change how that's sitting. We do want to kind of buff out this area a bit more. So again, let's play with the folds here. Let's mask that off. Okay, mask off all this if you like. And let's get that area inside too. Oh, pulling on something else. Okay, let's soften that a bit. There we go, we can kind of get that. Inverse it if you'd like, and let's mask off there so we don't affect that. And let's pull this. Like, well, how could we pull this? We could actually maybe push it out like that a bit more. And just be careful there with what we've got going on here. We can use, let's just use a standard brush to push that back down. Smooth it out. There you go. Okay. So there we go. Getting a bit more kind of volume there, but I think actually we could come in and get away with the inflate brush here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit more. There we go. And you can do the same, inflate brush a little bit here. Oh, maybe too much, a little bit. And then maybe at the back here we can do inflate brush as well. Okay, so we've just got this kind of bigger volume around the elbows and can do that. Really exaggerate it if you like. Like that. Okay. Depends on what you'd like. How much you'd like to play into that. Entirely up to you. Okay. How about the back here? So the back here, this is quite alright here at the back. On the other side, I'm quite pleased with how that looks. I might just push that in a bit more. There we go. Okay, fabulous, right. So we've got those kind of folds going on there. They look quite goopy at the moment because we've just been using the standard brush a lot. We might have lost some of that kind of crisp definition, but you can add that back in with a damn standard brush again. Okay, so don't worry about it if it looks a little bit too goopy. You can see there when we did the trousers, we fixed that very, very easily and quickly by using the damn standard brush. Okay. So what I say we'll do in the next video is we'll kind of tackle some, see if we can do some more interesting folds around here with the shoulder and where the armpit is. The one last thing I will do for this video I've just seen here is you see how I've got this vertical line here that almost shows the seam between the chest part of the shirt and the sleeves. Well, let's just go ahead and we'll put that in just now. So quite a big brush, and I reckon that's probably going to sit, looking at the vest, that's probably going to sit, wanted to sit somewhere around there. Go all the way around. I haven't got symmetry for this, so we'll have to do the other side manually too. Don't autosave, it's fine. Thank you. Let's do the same over here. So actually with folds like this kind of seam like that, it can even help with UVs later on when we get to that stage. Okay. So it's quite handy to put these in. If you like it, you can do so. If you don't like it, you don't have to. Let's just go an extra subdivision up, and I'm just going to use the inverse of the tool and just kind of exaggerate the edges there. Do the same for both sides. Okay. Same over here. Okay, I would avoid using the pinch tool, no matter how tempting it could be at the moment. Just because we don't want to kind of mess with the topology just yet. But having said that, I'm just going to break my own rule. I'm just going to pinch it ever so slightly, favoriting the chest area. There you go. Just so I can control that line a bit better. Yeah, so yeah, ignore what I said. Use the pinch tool. It's fine. Just use it. It's okay. Just don't be too aggressive with it, because it can offset some of the topology a little bit. So just use it quite sparingly. But that's fine there, like that. Okay. Right, fantastic. I hope that's been helpful. That's just the shirt part there for now, and we'll carry on with this in the next video.